Imadium, which means to stand. Wapanya Hapadam, which means turn and face the east.
That's
The
all,
east is this.
that's all Israel.
Everybody. Go do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw. Shabbat Shabbat.
Shabbat Shabbat.
Wadah. Hayah. I.S.U.P.K. Yahweh. Malak. Kabbalah. And the Zion. Into that sanctuary.
Evils and curses.
Said evils and curses.
Did it mean anything in the end? Read on.
And Numbers 14, and all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in the wilderness?
Brothers, if you're a captain over a school, if you're a general, if you're a man over any authority in the work of the Lord, prepare to be. This man went through the wilderness, parted the Red Sea, delivered the children of Israel against what the Lord described as the iron dungeon of Egypt. Walked them out through that wilderness 40 years. Came up on the other side, a whole nation in their garments with the knowledge of the truth, ready to stand up for the Lord. And the minute they saw these so-called giants, they turned on them. They turned on the men of God. They're going to try to turn on you. The more you love them, the more they'll try to turn on you. But you got to be strong for them, even when they don't know any better. Read on, Shalom. Give me the last one.
And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land, to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey.
They was afraid. They were afraid for their wives, for their children. Israel, let's not be afraid. Haven't we been afraid long enough in this place against this man that has ruled over us? We got a king in Israel. A king is born to give us our second chance, to give us one more shot to rock that covenant like it ought to be.
That's right.
We got one more chance to seal the deal that we started with our forefather Abraham. I'll be damned if we fail on carrying out that mission.
That's right.
Israel, stay strong. Right. I'll see y'all next time. Let's get our drink on.
That's right.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Testing a new broadhead is a
All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. Y'all ready? 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 All right. All right. Yeah. Kum ya shala. Kum ya shala. Kum ya shala.
The Israelite school, the U.P.K, out of Philadelphia. Dear One West. It's been a long road in my short time in this place. Like about 20 years or something. Seems like a long time, but here is nothing. It's a short time. Why? Because it's always something to learn. It's always something new. It's always a new scripture, always a new precept, always something new. You understand? To where you can build from, you can learn from. You understand? And I want to say I appreciate all the love that was shown to me in this school. You understand? From a young man to now, I still feel like a young man at times in front of great men like Commander General YAHANNA, like General Mahimi, General Kabal, General Shalimar, General Kasam, General Hazayan. Understand? I still feel like a young man. And I want to say I appreciate everything that this school done for me. Took me out the streets, took me from a life where I was surely supposed to die. You know what I mean? And I was made a better man. So I was made a better man than I ever would have been in the world. And I just appreciate it. And I pray I get to see when Christ cracked the sky and all the naysayers, everybody who said that One West did not have the truth, or One West was too militant, or One West was evil. Everybody can see that One West has always been the truth and is going to come out victorious. That's it.
Yes, sir. Have these men suffered? Yes, sir. Have you allowed someone to come to this school who has not earned it through great pain and great sacrifice? No, sir. I pray you haven't. I pray you have not polluted our ranks with weak men. You haven't brought cowards in here, have you? No, sir. I pray you have not. Commander General YAHANNA, in my honor, I tried my best to make these men suffer, to put them in great travail and in great pain. I have broken their limbs and spilled their blood. I have made sure you do it, sir. And I have done one thing, and it's extremely difficult to do. I have proved their friendship.
That's right.
These men are friends, sir. These men are friends. These men have proved their loyalty. They proved their eternal strength, their discipline. They still have the test of loyalty to be. That's just time, sir. You know better than me. The test of loyalty takes time. But these men have earned their right to be considered officers in the Israelite school. I would like to present them to you, sir. Please. It's amazing what you've done here today with these great officers. If I may, I'd like to call up the captains who have brought these men forward for this great test. I saw them on the field a couple of days ago, and I saw no weakness in the work your men have done. Captain Todd, General Mahoney, Generals, I present to you the Hebrew Academy class of 2025.
You want rid of me, huh? Now you know how I feel. Thermal chloride is pretty painful.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills. Which come with my help. My help coming from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
Nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Even though I don't know you, I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General YAHANNA, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
Clap it up. Let's get it on out there. About walking out there. Clap it up. We're getting it on here tonight, man. Stand by for Commanding General YAHANNA. We're going to tell you the truth about the world you live in. And here you're going to get the news in here tonight. We're here with General Mayaki's online. Give him a hand.
Yeah. Shalom, Israel.
Officer Marah, am I right? Officer Marah. Officer Knock. Officer Yadai. What's your name again, warrior? Officer Nathaniel. Officer Ibach. Give him a hand, man. We're rocking it out in here tonight. We're going to tell you the truth. Aren't you tired of being lied to? It seems like you love lies. You celebrated Easter today, didn't you? You love being lied to. You're a child. You're a child that loves to be lied to. You love to think that putting a dirty tooth under your pillow is going to get you a quarter from the goddamn tooth fairy. Right. You love Santa Claus. You love the Easter bunny. You love the thought that Jesus Christ gave his life so that slave masters could have more slaves. You love to be lied to. Well, Lord, allow the brothers and sisters that tuned in tonight to Commanding General Yahanna's show. Lord, allow you turned in tonight for the truth. That's why you came in here, and you're going to hear it. I pray you understand you're going to hear it. We're going to go over the stories right now. Whenever you're ready, Officer Yadiah, you can bring it out, all right? Also, if you have any questions, put them in the chat room. What you waiting on? Put your questions in the chat room. Let's answer your questions. I know you don't like what you're hearing. You're angry because you love the Easter bunny. You wore a pink suit to church today. You felt like you got closer to Jesus today. I know you don't like what you're hearing. You tune in, you're scared to say something. No one is going to hurt you. It's okay. We're not like your preachers who can't answer questions. Go ask that preacher, what does Hashkala Baba Baba Shana mean? He will say nothing. You ask your preacher, I heard you say Hashkala Baba Baba Shana. What does that mean, preacher? That got nothing to do with salvation. Keep your heart set on salvation. Your preacher is not going to answer your questions because your preacher doesn't know the Bible. You can ask questions in here today. Many things happened today. In white news, the Pope died today. You died. Did you hear about that? That's the headline in white news. You died. That's like the stock market crashing or rise. It means something to white people. I don't know what it means, but white people are very concerned about it.
Okay.
The stock market and the Dow Jones. I don't know. I just need that gas to get that price of that gas to get right now. Okay. Now, as far as the Dow Jones, I don't know what the hell that is. But in white news, the Pope died today. Coincidentally, he died right after Easter Sunday.
So what that means?
It's a coincidental, That's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say the Pope went out and talked to the people Easter Sunday in his mass, in his pontificate mass Easter Sunday. Lo and behold, he died this morning. So the Pope died right after Easter. That is a little too convenient for a suspicious mind like mine. I got a feeling somebody might have put a pillow on the Pope's face to make sure he died the day after Easter, but I don't know that. I'm just suspicious, Knock. That has no legal ramifications. Please, Knock.
And if I could, so I was watching the interview, and it was a man saying that he just happened to book a trip.
Oh.
He just happened to book a trip. He happened to be flying in the same day he died. He just might make the funeral.
Oh, ain't that something? So you telling me one of the people going to the funeral just so happened to have a ticket to the funeral before he died? Listen, things like that can happen. You know, me, I'm suspicious about things.
God.
Trust anything. So who knows? I know the Pope died on Easter Monday. Right. He died, and the people coming to the funeral already booked their tickets. Well, anyway, we'll go over that in white news today and some other white news stories, but the rest of them will be things that matter to you, things that matter in your life. All right? Please, Yadiah, whenever you're ready.
Colonel McCon, sir. Robots race humans in world's first bipedal half marathon.
Here we go. Bipedal meaning 2 foot, 2 feet. They had a marathon with a robot and a human. Let's hear about what happened.
Colonel McCon. 21 humanoid robots competed alongside thousands of human runners in Beijing on Saturday in what organizers claim as the world's first bipedal robot half marathon.
Yeah, this has very significant historical context. I'll explain why. Let me just tell you the story. 21 robots on 2 feet raced thousands of Chinese runners, right? What happened? The robots fell down and lost the race. That's what happened. The robots did a terrible job at running. Now, it's still significant, and I'll tell you why. Back in the, someone looked this up to give me to tell everybody the real story. Back in the 1800s, when the steam engine came out, right? When the steam engine came out, they did races with horses racing a train, right? And they would have races to show people how much better a train was to a horse. And of course, the train smoked the horses. Then they did races when cars began to get popular. They did races with automobiles and horses. You ever heard the term, this car has 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower? That is because in the beginning of the innovations of the automobile industry, they had races between horses and cars. And they would show you that this car has the power of 200 horses. To this day, they still use that term, 500 horsepower. Well, guess what China did? China is trying to show you how much better a robot is to people. Just like they were trying to show you how much better a car is to a horse, how much better a train is to a horse. They're beginning to try to show you how much better a robot is to a human. And guess what, brother? After cars came out, they got rid of horses. When the train got on the tracks, no one used a horse anymore. But what do you think is going to happen once these robots beat humans in races? They're not going to need humans. It has significant historical context because this is what they do when they're trying to consider the thing irrelevant and an antique, and you shouldn't buy it anymore. You don't need it anymore, except in this case, the thing that's an antique, the thing that you don't need anymore is people. And that's the point. Now, the Lord was with you because the robot lost. So thank the Most High for that. But when the day comes that that robot wins, then people will be as antiquated and as out of date as a horse is to a car. I pray you understand. You die, I'll get him, and I'll get you.
If I could, sir, we're so heavy about what you're saying. In the same article, Elon Musk was bragging about how his Tesla robots are going to be made by 2026, but his robots are made for lascivious behavior.
He said that.
Oh no,
you know the truth about the robot.
Come.
yeah, that's correct. I didn't, that went over my head, but he is telling the truth.
Right.
Meaning Elon Musk is saying his robots are going to be better than humans, except his robots are for sex.
Right. Okay.
Which means you don't need a woman for sex anymore. You can just have these robots. Their intent is to replace humans the same way an automobile manufacturer's intent was to replace horses. That was their point, to get rid of horses because they're too slow. They can't compare to our innovation. These billionaires want to replace people. That's what they want. They consider people insignificant. Here's the news of the Bible, of the gospel of Jesus Christ. People are the most important thing on the planet. There is nothing more important than people. There is nothing more valuable, nothing more innovative, nothing more kind and generous, nothing with enough hope, aspero, than people. And we cannot be replaced by any other nation or any device of that nation. You die. Next, you get the point. That's the story. I'm sorry.
If I could, sir, the first article I pulled up is history.com. If I could, sir, it says the Industrial Revolution and Baltimore and Ohio Railroad still ran on horsepower, literally. Steeds hauled the B&O rail cars when the railroad launched in May 1830. But the company's investors knew that only machines, not muscle, would be able to power trains over its planned 380-mile rail line between Baltimore, Maryland, and West Virginia.
That's it. So when they do these races, this is a point they're trying to make. They're not there yet.
Right.
The robots lost the race. But the point is sound. They're trying to show you you do not need people. You white people got mad at Mexicans for taking your jobs. Robots are taking your jobs. Microphone. Robots are taking your jobs. Your racism just didn't let you see the truth right in front of your face. You die.
And if I can, General, these millionaires, they can't wait to have robots cleaning their house and taking out their trash and doing all the labor, picking their fruit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to get them 15-minute breaks or half-hour lunch breaks. They could work them to absolute until they malfunction. You understand? They're gonna put the robots in slavery if they have their will.
If they have their will, you damn right are. Go ahead, Yediah.
Come on, sir. Lucky we weren't home. Florida man fantasizes about shooting small black girl who rang his doorbell to sell candy, deletes Facebook page, and facing backlash.
So this story, tell me if I'm correct about this, Yediah. Some white man had a fantasy. Somehow they found out about it. He must have posted his fantasy, put his fantasy online, which is what people do because they can't help to do it.
Right.
He had a fantasy about killing a child who knocked on his door to sell candy. That child knocked on his door. All he could think about is that he's like a spider when a moth comes into his web.
Right.
All he could think about was killing this child. And he posted it and told everybody about it, which is the gall that white people have. You white people got gall. You're audacious. You white people, man. You think you're so hateful and you just assume that you can just express it and tell everyone about it and there'll be no repercussion at all. It must be amazing to be white. It must be an amazing thing. He had a murder fantasy and told about a child and told everyone about it. You die.
What you're saying, sir, is just so heavy. It just goes to show you how evil Esau is. And at the same time, you know, we got another story we're going to go into about the young brother Carmelo Anthony, about how he defended himself against a bunch of devils. This devil is posting in glory, you know, trying to show glory in unaliving a baby.
Well, let me tell you something. Now, everybody always tells me that the races are equal. I've been hearing that my whole life. You die. I know you have. Everybody says that we are equal, but I've just never seen anybody that could be as cruel as white people. I don't see the equality with them in cruelty. I don't see that. I look for it. I look for the story in history about some black person killing 10 white children, turning over a school bus of white children, hanging white babies. I look for that in history, I can't find it. I don't think we are equal when it comes to cruelty. When it comes to malice in your heart.
Right.
I don't think we are equal in that way, and I don't see why we should be equal in the kingdom of heaven. If white people can be unequally evil to us, then why do we have to share the kingdom of heaven with them in equality? I don't see how that makes sense. You Christians out there that celebrated your bunnies today, maybe you can tell me, because it seems like white people are unequally evil to us and cruel to us more than we've ever been to them. You die.
And listen, and I think most of them understand that they are the cruelest people on earth. They understand how cruel they are. I just watched a little while ago a movie where this Edomite woman got with her co-worker and killed her father for the insurance, $500,000, right? So killed the father. So then when things start getting hot, the co-worker needed the money now, some of it now, because he owed 2 gangsters. She ended up killing him, right? So now she didn't kill her father, killed him. The 2 gangsters went after her, said, listen, he's dead now, so you got to pay us that money. We heard you got the insurance coming. So she had to make a deal with them, end up hiring some old lady to get with somebody and killed the 2 gangsters, right? So she killed the 2 gangsters. Now the old lady said, I know everything. I'm better get half of that money because I'm worth it. I got rid of them gangsters and this and that. Of course, she killed the old lady. You know? The old lady.
She's a menace. I hope they caught her and put her behind bars.
Listen, after all the killing and finding the bodies, they put her in the cop car, right? She said, well, come on, y'all got to give me a break. Isn't that nature? It's natural. Greed and things like that. We all got it. Come on. And it was like she did nothing. Salaki, I yield.
Gentlemen, give him a hand because he's telling the truth though. I mean, this whole search for equality, maybe it's misguided. Maybe you need to make white people be equal to us in forgiveness. Yep. Right. Because black people know how to forgive. We forgive slavery. Why don't you force white people to equal our generosity, our kindness? Instead, you allow white people to be unequally cruel and expect for God to love them equally as much as he loves us. I don't know if the true living God will do something like that. I haven't read that in the Bible, and I've read it quite a bit, Knock. I haven't found that. Go ahead, Yediah. Please. Let's do the one about the young brother that got that shot the Edomite or stabbed the Edomite up. This is one Captain Tazariak told me about. This is the big story, Haas.
Yeah, I
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know about it.
Carmelo Anthony, that's his name,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Most of you know about this story, man. That young brother, he was somewhere. Was he at a football game or some type
Track
of
meet?
He was at a track meet.
Yeah.
He's at a track meet, and there's some white boy at this school that bullies him. That's something you white people love to do is bully people. Oh, you love bullying. I mean, you love bullying from 6, 7 years old. You bully it. It's just in you by nature to oppress people. That's what bullying is. If you want to take bullying, you got bullying when you're in high school or grade school. The popular kid, the one that's white, he has money, he has everything you don't have, and he makes sure you don't have any friends. He makes sure that your time in grade school is terrible. He pushes you and abuses you and beats you so much so that you have to drop out of school.
Yep.
So much so that your grades go down. When that baby becomes an adult, he oppresses nations of people. Oppression and bullying are the same thing, just on a different scale.
God.
These white children come out like this from the womb doing this.
Yes, sir.
They're twisted, skewed from the womb, like a snake comes out of an egg.
Right.
And because of that, this boy is getting this little brother, this black boy. He's Hispanic or black? He's an Israelite.
He's Judah.
He's a Judite. This Judite boy, so-called Negro, he's getting bullied every day by this white kid. So now he's at a track meet. The black kid is a track athlete. Here comes the bully telling him to get up and leave. Oppression. Get up and get out of here. Get out of that seat. Move. The brother says, if you touch me, you're going to regret it. And the white boy touched him. And this black child defended himself, which is his right in America. It's his right according to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and according to God to defend himself. He pulled something out of his bag, might have been a sharp object of some kind, and he defended himself. And unfortunately, the white boy died in the process of the black child defending himself. In the state of Texas, that has a stand your ground law has and gives people the right to defend themselves. And this black child was assaulted by this white kid. Haas.
It was 2, I think, because he was a twin.
Microphone.
Like it was 2, I think. Say again. Okay,
It was
more than just one that came at him. I know his twin was one of the ones that came at him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now Yediah, break it down. Come on, Yediah. You know about these things. Come on, Yediah.
If I could, sir, it was a mob of them. I seen the video. It was at least 6 of them, and he was with them, and he was just chilling. And then when the bully came and started to rouse up, they all came up against him. And he said, listen, y'all attacked me. I got something for you.
Yikes.
And what he had, and this thing ain't even that sharp. I don't know, Knock, you play sports. We play sports. The cleat sharpener.
Yeah.
Cleat sharpeners are not that sharp. To be honest with you, General, it was very impressive that he was able to put him down with that, in my opinion.
He defended himself. And the Most High believes in self-defense.
Yeah.
Damn right.
And that's it, Doc. And once again, we don't advocate anyone to be harmed, and we don't advocate bullying and assault either.
Right.
That has to stop, man.
Right.
You cannot bully people and assault people.
Right.
It's wrong. Unfortunately, this white man died. If he had better parents, if he wasn't such a thug,
right,
he wouldn't go to school and bully people, General.
Somebody had a picture of this same cat on the line. He in a car with an AR-15 with a scope and a laser sight on it and a pistol saying, and somebody messaged me today, said they're gonna catch something. I wish we could find it and pull it up.
This is him?
Yeah, the one who got
and it was 6 of them, according to Yediah.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Listen, these are a group of thugs, a gang, really, Oz. That's a gang. This gang of white high school students, a gang of them, went and tried to assault and beat a black child. And the black child defended himself with whatever weapon he had at his disposal to defend himself against a gang of white thugs.
And from what I'm hearing, they trying to use this as we got to now protect the white people from black people. They're trying to use that I guess is a cry, a rallying cry. They say now we got to protect white people from black people because this happened.
Let me tell you something. That is white thinking.
Yeah.
White people would be a victim standing on a pile of gold. Like they find a way to be victims. And the problem is because they're rich, they're the victims that everybody wants. They're going to find a way to be a victim in any way that they can. And everyone believes that they are the victim because they're rich. In this case, this boy got arrested for defending himself. For defending himself. Which let that go out to you Moorish American nuts out there that think you can read the Constitution or Black's Law Dictionary and think that the laws in America apply to you. The Constitution is paper when it comes to Blacks and Hispanics. It's paper. It means, I'm sorry, Warrior, go ahead. Microphone if you could.
I was going to say, sir, what you're saying is so heavy because after he got unalive, if you heard the news.
You need the microphone.
They can't hear you up. Is it on? This might be off. It ain't on. Try it again.
That's my mic.
Tap it.
That's your mic. This is mic right here.
You go with testing. There you go. You got it.
You got it.
Con, sir, what you bringing out is so heavy because I mean, if you heard the news and how they after the unaliving of the white man, the white little boy, they was and like it was like everybody was so broken. They brought counselors for every extra counselors in. They was bringing all these people in to try to make it seem like everybody is just so hurt that this kid got unalive. I mean, but when a black kid get unalive in a black school, you don't hear about no extra counselors, no extra help or support or things like that. It's like that's it.
Give him a hand now. He's telling the truth. I mean, let me tell you something now. White people are just cruel. And you hate the Israelite school of UPK for just telling you how cruel you are. You're cruel. You don't have to give us this to talk about every week. You could teach your children not to be thugs,
right,
and gang members,
right.
You could teach your children to go to school and be kind to people,
right.
But instead, you teach your children to be just like you, a bunch of cruel monsters that are going to grow up to become Donald Trump and oppress every country on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
You can imagine how Donald Trump was in high school.
Yeah.
Woo. I can only imagine what that monster was like in grade school, like, and the stories that people could tell about things he did to people in high school, the cops that had to get paid off from girls that he did terrible things to. I could only imagine it. Well, white people, you could be better people. You could do that. Everyone can. Everyone can raise their children to be better. Why are your children thugs and gangsters?
Right.
Please.
If I could, sir, I have something. I'm getting ready to send it to Officer Marab that is a parallel to what happened with Botham Shimjom with the judge. Austin Metcalf's father was called on the phone by a white supremacist who was trying to, get justice for Austin Metcalf.
Who is that?
I forget the devil's name. It's in the article.
But who is Austin Metcalf?
Austin Metcalf is the devil that the brother defended himself. Now the father condemned Austin Metcalf's father condemned this white supremacist devil and was saying, you know what I mean? I would like to pray with, Carmelo Anthony Chambers, forgiving Carmelo, you know what I mean, for what happened. And this oppressor called the father of Austin Metcalf weak, you know what I mean, to white people and white society.
Yeah. Let me tell you, white people believe that you should take their abuse. Now, the sad thing is we taught that to them. His name was Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, many times in the UPK, we talk about the bad influence that Martin Luther King was on black people. Sometimes we forget to mention the bad influence that Martin Luther King was on white people. Martin Luther King taught white people that black people are supposed to take abuse, that we're supposed to just eat it and pray. We're supposed to just get abused, get beat, and pray. We're supposed to forgive everyone that beats us if they're white. White people learn that lesson about us. So when we fight back, white people are stunned.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be shocked. No one should be surprised if an abused child stands up and defends himself. It should not be a shock. It should be like, obviously, it was 6 of them trying to beat him up. Yeah, he pulled something out of his bag to help himself defend himself. Who wouldn't do that? But if you're black, white people expect you to take the abuse.
Yes.
That's what they expect. General
I was
Maya.
gonna say, you know how many videos I done seen, General? Like for road rage, for instance. I done seen Edomites argue with somebody black on the road, jump out, the husband and the wife jump out the car, run over to the black driver, smack on his car and try to open his door. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know who this cat is, but because of their power and because, like you said, we taught them that we're supposed to take their abuse. And every now and then, you know, the brother get out or sister get out and defend themselves because they try to put hands on them. I done seen the Edomite husband get smacked and fall out on the road. The woman hit him. He smacked her. She fall out on the road. And they're shocked. Then the Edomite get up and he's looking like, I can't believe he just smacked me on the ground. Because they don't believe no matter how they treat you or rip your hat off or smack you in the face, they believe you should not do nothing about it. So,
listen, white people don't honor your humanity, Mayak.
No. If I could, sir, what makes it so disgusting is the hubrisness of a white man, because he can't say, I fear for my life.
No.
The white brother can't say he fear for his
That's
life.
right. He can't say that, but yet and still, he thinks that he should be allowed to hurt you and you not defend yourself. There was something Captain Jazaryak brought out to me that was so heavy. Is that video of the Alabama boat riot? Right. Okay. That is a psychological experiment, Mayak. You know that video I'm talking about, Mayak?
Got it one guy.
Something Captain Jazaryak brought out to me on the phone. It was so heavy. He said that on that video, and I totally forgot this, but I remember when I first saw that video, at the top of the video, it said, watch until the end.
Yeah.
I remember that so clearly. Watch until the end. Because it was during a time when on your phone every day, it was a black person being beat by a white cop.
Yep.
It was every day. Every day, some brother getting kicked and beat by some white police officer. Everybody sits around and films it. That's what everybody did. Just film it. The video said, watch until the end. That is the only reason I didn't flick away. Because it said, watch until the end. And then that brother started to swim across that lake. Brother, I yelled, Kwame Yashala. Right, that brother said, swab it. Listen, I would have missed it if that thing didn't say, watch until the end. That is a psychological experiment. Because a man was being beat by 20 people.
Yeah.
And you did not expect anyone to defend him. Right. Now you better look at yourself and ask yourself why. If you were stunned, the whole world was stunned. Why were we all stunned? It was 20 of them. It was in public. Why were we shocked? Because we are not used to black people defending themselves. Okay. We're not used to it. Yep. So because of it, whoever put the video out had to say watch until the end, because they know that we expect for no one to defend him. Yeah. Well, this cat Carmelo Anthony, he defended himself. I know it shocks you. I know it's stunning. Yeah. I know you cannot believe that a boy would stand up to 6 white children who, if a little child would stand up and say, I'm not going to be beat today. I know it shocked you because you were shocked to see those brothers swim across that river for the Alabama boat ride. Yeah. But black people there's still some courage here, huh?
Yeah.
There's still some brothers here. Yeah. We're not all Martin Luther King indoctrinated. Yeah. We're not all infected by Christianity. Yeah. You might run across someone that decides that his life is important enough to be defended.
That's right.
That could happen. I know it happens in here.
That's
in
right.
the Israelite School of U.P.K.
Damn right.
I pray you understand that.
Damn right, I saw one similar to what you were saying. It was in a prison courtroom. I just seen it recently too. It was a prison courtroom. This cat was coming out of court, and this one Edomite cop was going at this brother. I mean, he was such a rage to get him. And brother slid in there and stood between them, pushed him away. And the cop was trying to go around the cop who was stopping him. And he was like, okay, the brother that was a cop treated that Edomite officer like he was a suspect. He had to really grip him, push him away. And the cat couldn't realize the rage he had for the young brother that wasn't doing nothing. He was simply talking, had his hands up like, I'm not doing nothing. He kept trying to get to him, He was trying to grab his arm. The brother kept blocking him, sliding, pushing him out the way, to where the brother got him and shook him like, yo, what you doing? Get away from me. You know what I mean? That gave me some courage. I was like, respect for that one there.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, if some brother's not going to sit back and let you do things to us unrighteously, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? Woo. Gave me some hope, General.
I'm telling you, I can't. Listen, we love to be alive, don't we?
That's right.
We have children.
That's right.
We have wives that we love. Like white people don't honor your humanity. They think humanity belongs to them. Like everything else, they think the water is theirs, the air, the land. Donald Trump thinks Greenland belongs to him. He thinks Canada is his.
Right.
He doesn't even understand that he can't have Canada or he can't have Greenland. He doesn't get it. He just believes everything is his. And guess what? They chose him to be president because he best represents the people. Yeah. Let me show you something. Let me get into Easter for a second, unless you want to do something else.
General, I want that Easter.
Please, you want to go into it?
Go ahead.
I'll start it off, but get it on.
I'll wait. Go
No
ahead.
sweat. Because you know Easter was yesterday, huh?
Yes, sir.
They had Easter yesterday. Oh, they had an Easter, Maya. Jediah.
It was also 420.
How did I forget about that?
Huh?
Yesterday, Maya. Maya, the stars aligned yesterday. I mean, the universe lined up and made Easter Sunday fall on 420. This is something that I didn't know black people even knew about until about 3 years ago. Wow. Back when I was a drug addict, I never heard of 420. But come to find out, there's some day called 420, Maya, where all the weed addicts love to smoke weed. Guess why? Take a guess. Because white people have decided that somehow that's spiritual. Why is it spiritual? 420. What does that mean?
I don't know, General. I know it's a weed. They think weed's spiritual.
Drug addicts out there, what does 420 mean? Why is that something to white people?
I guess
somehow it's good for weed. All right.
Anything with weed, General. They like their weed.
I don't know. Well, anyway, Easter fell on 420. How's that, young? You listen. The smoke went far and wide. They had bunnies and eggs and weed. It was an orgy of pleasure, an orgy of smoke, weed, eggs, jelly beans. It was an orgy of pagan pleasure yesterday, Hans. They had a good time.
I think that shit went over to the day because I came downstairs in my kitchen. My kitchen window was open. And I said, who the fuck is smoking marijuana in my house? And I looked outside and I ain't see nobody. So I said, you know what? I said, listen, man, don't everybody like that fucking weed smell, man. Like, I want to smell this motherfucking shit. I was cussing my ass, and then they just slowly went away. It just dissipated or whatever. But I'm cussing that storm out the window. I know they was outside somewhere in the back of the house, in the driveway. And I'm going to fussing like, I want to smell it. Everybody like this shit, you motherfuckers. I want to smell this shit here. And it slowly went away. Because they think that everybody likes that smell. Or we got to put up with it. We ain't got to put up with that weed crap.
It's rude.
Yeah.
It's just straight up rude. You want to be a drug addict, why? You got to get everybody else high.
Yeah.
Right. Get in your car, roll the windows up like a real drug addict, sit there and make rap songs in that car. Right. Get in there in that car, roll them windows up and make raps. Right. Well, and meanwhile, all of us have to smell it. Well, how's that was yesterday? It was Easter Sunday. And this is another thing you Christians have got to explain to me because I'll never understand this. You hate Donald Trump. You think he's cruel. You hate his policies. You hate that he got rid of affirmative action and DEI. You Hispanics. Now you hate Donald Trump because he's deporting people who are not even illegal citizens. He's just rounding up random Hispanics and putting them in El Salvador. Everyone hates Donald Trump. And you and Donald Trump spent yesterday doing the same thing. You celebrated the exact same holiday as Donald Trump. How do you reconcile that in your heart? Maybe you and your oppressors are more alike than you like to believe.
Right.
I wonder, Haas, because I don't know how you being a black person, you believe in what you believe. And you and Donald Trump did the same thing yesterday.
Right.
Y'all both went to church. You both had the bunny rabbit. You both had the eggs. But then you'll say you're different than Donald Trump? Well, let me show you what Donald Trump did yesterday. What do we have here on the screen, Marah?
Salaki, we got Donald Trump with the Easter bunny at the White House.
Look at the bunny over there, House. That is some ridiculous nonsense. And that's a nightmare of mine. If I see that bunny out, that's a nightmare. I don't want to see that bunny out. I don't like my. No, he always made fun of me. I don't like. And I don't like people dressed up trying to be happy. Yeah. somehow it's a trick to get me. Lord, no. I don't like none of that. And this thing right here, my aunt, that's a nightmare. You looking at this? Is that thing really there? Maybe
he peekabooing. He peekabooing.
See that? Tell me you see that bunny, my eye.
I see it. He peekabooing, General. He peekabooing.
Brother, I would have to run the hell out of there. Okay? If I see that bunny.
And like you saying, all these Christians that want to march and hate Donald Trump so much, guess what? He loved the bunny just like you do.
Yes.
He loved the colored eggs just like you do.
How do you do it? Don't you feel that in some way Easter must be wrong if Donald Trump believes in it? Like that. Listen, and what do you think the Ku Klux Klan did yesterday? The Ku Klux Klan celebrated Easter. The white hate groups, the skinheads, they all celebrated Easter. That doesn't tell you anything. Oh, I know. You don't look at anything when it comes to your pleasure.
Right.
You don't consider anything. You don't think about anything other than going to church and letting that nightmare walk up behind you in church. That is disgusting. Well, here's your president. Let me give you Donald Trump's Easter address. Did I tell you that? Mayak House, every president, I mean, since Abraham Lincoln, since maybe Thomas Jefferson has put out an Easter address every Easter because of the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. They all put out an Easter address speaking about forgiveness and repentance and the resurrection of Jesus, a time of rebirth, and appreciating that Jesus Christ shed his blood for us and he is risen again on Easter Sunday. Let's read Donald Trump's Easter address. Anyone?
And General, I think I also heard Putin. Putin called for a ceasefire with Ukraine for Easter.
For Easter.
You know what I'm saying? And Priest Award said that's also Hitler's birthday, 420.
Ain't that something? That's probably the real reason, Mike, right there. I didn't know that. That's probably the real reason that they worship 420, because it's Hitler's birthday. What religion was Adolf Hitler? Who wants to blow my mind with the answer? What did Adolf Hitler do this time of year? Celebrate Easter. Adolf Hitler celebrated Easter. How do you reconcile that, Black Christians, Black Easter celebritants? How do you reconcile Adolf Hitler, Donald Trump, Putin celebrating the same holiday that you celebrate? Whenever you're ready, I'd love to hear it. I never get an answer to this question, Oz.
Yeah.
Well, because of the resurrection of Jesus Christ and his holy name, with all of this holy, President put out a Easter address. Let's read Donald Trump's Easter address.
Khan, sir.
Can you put it on the screen? No, whatever you have. If not, you can lead us up there with the bunny and all that.
Khan. It says, "Happy Easter to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting and scheming so hard to bring murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisons, the mentally insane, well known as MS-13 gang members, and white beaters back into our country. Happy Easter also to the weak and ineffective judges and law enforcement officials who are not allowing the sinister attack on our nation to continue, an attack so violent that it will never be forgotten. Sleepy Joe Biden purposely allowed millions of criminals to enter our country, totally unvetted and unchecked, through our open border policy that will go down as history as the single most calamitous act ever perpetuated upon America. He was by far our worst and most incompetent president, a man who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, but to him and to the person that ran and manipulated the auto pen, perhaps our real president, and to all of the people who cheated in the 2020 presidential election in order to get this highly destructive moron elected, I wish you with great love, sincerity, and affection a very happy Easter."
In the name of Jesus, amen. That is the president they elected. That's his Easter address. Wow. You just read it. This idiot doesn't even believe in Jesus.
Right.
Wow. He doesn't care about God. Why in the hell would you have elected? Oh, you don't believe in Jesus either. You don't care about God either. I'm learning something about Christians in Easter when I learn about Donald Trump. You voted for him because he doesn't really care about Jesus. Yeah, he celebrates Easter, but he doesn't care about Jesus. You celebrate Easter and you don't care about Jesus either. Donald Trump is the representative that best represents people in America.
Right.
Because he's just like you, a hypocrite.
Right.
Who talks about God, celebrates Easter with bunnies and eggs, and really could care less about Jesus Christ.
That's right.
I'm sorry. could not care less.
That's right.
About Jesus Christ. Everyone.
That's right. Yes, sir. Come on.
Whenever
If I could, you know,
please,
can I get Colossians 2 and 8 real fast? And then from there, I'm gonna have Knock read something out of the dictionary we got. Tell them what kind of dictionary it is when you get to you, Knock, and then let them know what page you're on. All right? Read for me, brother.
Con, the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you.
Lest what?
Lest any man spoil
the
you.
word spoil means destroy. Lest any man destroy you. Go ahead.
Through philosophy.
Through what?
Philosophy.
Through what?
Philosophy.
Go ahead.
And vain deceit.
Something that's made up by men and means nothing. Easter means nothing. The rabbit means nothing. Go ahead.
Con, sir. After the tradition of men.
Traditions of who?
Men.
Who created Easter, y'all? Who brought up the whole Easter concept? Men. And they were not men of God. They were heathens who did this here. Because when you go back in the original scrolls, in the Hebrew and New Testament, it says Pesach, which means Passover. You know what I mean? Acts 12 and 4. Go ahead.
Con. After the rudiments of the world.
Go ahead.
And not after Christ.
This didn't come out like how General Hyman saying they don't believe in Christ. Trump don't believe in Christ. You understand? Neither you Christians, you don't believe in Christ. Because if you did, you wouldn't be celebrating Easter. Just that simple. And ain't nowhere else to go into it. Now, I'm going to give you proof. Now, you may say, well, y'all Israelites is wrong and we X, Y, Z. Let me give you a dictionary that was not written by me, that was written by Edomite white scholars. You understand me? When they went and studied the Bible and the records, and this is what they came up with about Easter. This is their own words. Come on with it.
This is an expository dictionary of the New Testament and words by W.E. Vine.
Hold on. You see, the reason why it's so beat up, y'all, because I done used this thing here. This come out of warfare. This warfare right here, y'all. There's battles on the streets and everything. Move your hand and show them. You understand? Vine Dictionary. You understand? Yeah. William E. Vine, right? An expository dictionary of New Testament words. Woo! New Testament. Tell them where you're going to, brother.
This page 192.
One what?
192.
Go ahead.
Easter.
Who?
Easter.
Go ahead.
Pascha.
Who?
Pascha.
Pesach. First thing it's saying, Pesach. Go ahead.
Mistranslated Easter.
What? Say it again.
Mistranslated.
What?
Mistranslated.
You Christians say Easter's in the Bible. And you celebrate it, right? This man that wrote this dictionary hundreds of years ago and said it's Pesach. Mistranslated what?
Easter.
Woo. Come on now. What are we going to do here, baby? Come on now. Go ahead.
In Acts chapter 12, verse 4.
Go ahead.
King James Version.
That's why when you read Acts 12 and 4 in the Hebrew, it says Pesach. It says Pesach, which means Passover, not Easter. Mistranslated in the Easter, but no, it ain't really Easter. It's Passover. Go ahead. And why is it Passover? Because that New Testament ain't for everybody, y'all. That's for the Israelites. So-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indians. God chose, not for everybody. You done stole the records of a particular people that God loved and made it for yourself and came up with Easter. But Easter ain't in the Bible. A mistranslation. Go ahead. Come on.
In Acts chapter 12, verse 4, denotes the Passover.
Denotes the what?
The Passover.
So it's talking about the Passover, y'all. Go ahead.
The phrase after the Passover signifies after the whole festival was at an end.
That's what they came up with. Go ahead.
The term Easter is not of Christian origin.
It's not of what?
Of Christian origin.
You heard what General Hyman said. Y'all don't believe in Christ. This didn't come from Christ. It ain't Christianity. The real Christians was Israelites. You understand? That was Israelites in the New Testament. Go ahead.
It is another form of Ashtar.
Astarte. Y'all know who she is? Get you a Zondervan Bible Dictionary and pull up the image of Astarte. You're going to see exactly who she is. Diana in the Bible. That's who it is. Go ahead.
One of the titles of the Chaldean goddesses.
The what? The Chaldean what?
Goddesses.
A what?
A goddess.
Why her? Because about her is fertility. Why about a bunny rabbit? Fertility. Right. Yo, you see the correlation now? The whole fertile thing, worshiping a woman? That's where it comes from. Go ahead.
The Queen of Heaven.
The what of heaven?
The Queen of Heaven.
Go ahead.
The festival of Pesach held by Christians is post-apostolic.
Post, meaning before. Go ahead.
Times, which was a continuation of the Jewish feast.
Go ahead.
But was not instituted by Christ.
Was not what?
Was not instituted by Christ.
Why? Because it wasn't something the Israelites did. This came after he passed away. Come on.
Nor was it connected with Lent. From this, Pesach, the pagan festival of Easter, was quite distinct and was introduced into apostate Western religion.
What religion?
Western religion, sir.
What religion?
Western religion.
Where we live at right now?
Western, sir.
We in the west side of everything. You understand? Western religion. That's your Christianity. That's your Roman Catholic Church. You understand? When it says Western religion, this is what it's talking about. During the time of Constantine, you had the Eastern and you had the Western. You understand? The Eastern was the Byzantine Empire ran by black men. You understand? The Western was ran by Edomites. Right. I forget the name, General. You always told me this here, and I forget it. Salaki, sir. Good. The Neri and the yeah, the Neri and the Galak. You understand me? That's what it's talking about. The Eastern side was the Byzantine Empire ran by black people. The Western side is the Roman Catholic Church, which you see there today. That's what it's talking about. They adopted this philosophy and doctrine. Y'all need to go read about all the tenets that they teach in this philosophy and doctrine. Lent, that old thing they put on the dark thing they put on the forehead and all that kind of stuff, whatever they call that, right? Ash Wednesday. Read up, go read and do some history on all that. And then when you find out about it, bring it out so the whole world can know about it. You understand me? Because the Lord said in the Bible, in Colossians 2:8, beware lest a man spoil you with philosophy and doctrine. You know what I mean? That means nothing. Vain deceit. That's it, brother. We can stop right there. That's all, sir. That's a lot of sir.
Let's go, you die.
Oh, I was going to say, sir, I had a precept in the Bible, sir, during the time of Jeremiah.
Please, break it down.
If I could, sir, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire. The women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven and pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger.
That's the perfect precept. This is the real origin of Easter, the worship of the goddess Estar, a fertility goddess that people have been worshiping far before Jesus Christ was born. It's pagan and disgusting, and you continue it unto this day, and the people that hate you have the same custom. They have the exact same custom. Everybody understand. Well said. Can
I say one thing? Mariah, put the camera on me, man. I normally don't address cats in the chat and all that. I ignore you. Marcel Gray, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, anybody know about the Israelite school of UPK, being props to the Lord, we don't break these commandments, right? So I'm gonna show you something, brother. This, and I won't do nothing else. We're gonna keep on going on. Let me bend my head down. Y'all see this hole right here? The crown of my head is not covered. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. It's like the water for the time. The water, you know what I mean?
He don't know.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just want to show you, brother. All right?
No problem. He don't know, but I know Marcel. I see him when he's alone. I see him in his private time. I see him. I see him when he thinks no one else is watching. I see Marcel Gray. And I know he does not know. He doesn't understand. We'll break it down. Once we get done the stories, Marcel Gray, General Hazayan can break down the whole crown of your head, the whole thing, the whole what covering your head is talking about. It's no problem. Or else I'll have you dream about it tonight, Marcel. Tonight, I'll make sure you have a dream about it. Please, go on. Please, not.
Did you want Diana, sir?
Please.
This is, if I could, sir, this is when Paul was in camp in Ephesus, and it was a riot when he was speaking against Diana. This is Acts chapter 19, verse 27. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set to naught, but also the temple of the great goddess Diana shall be despised, and her magnificence shall be destroyed, whom all Asia in the world worships. And if I could, sir, if I keep going, it says, please. And when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, great is Diana of Ephesus. And the whole city was filled with confusion, and having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions, and traveled, and they rushed on one accord into the theater.
That what the officer is saying is so true. That's the real origin of Easter. That's what Easter is really about. Now let me blow your mind with this. People who celebrate Easter don't give a damn what it's about.
Right.
They don't care about the origin of it.
Right.
They don't follow Easter because they've studied it and looked at the records and see that it's of God or not of God. People celebrate Easter for the reason that they do everything. Pleasure of. That is it. They're just captives to pleasure. They live a terribly sad and miserable life. And every once in a while, the sun shines through their misery on Christmas morning, on Thanksgiving, on Easter. They get a little joy. And it's so provocative to them. It's so addictive because the white man, our oppressor, makes their life a living hell every day except for Easter morning.
Right.
Except for on Sunday. They celebrate Easter because of that. You could explain to them in Hebrew and in Greek the origin of Easter. They could care less because they do it because it soothes their miserable soul.
Right.
You see, us in the UPK, we're different than them. We're not like them. We're completely different. We do things because it's right to do it. We don't do things because we get some pleasure that we cannot get rid of. It's an addiction, Easter Rock. It's an addiction. It's from childhood. Just like every other misery in your life. Let's go into Kanye West after this. But like every other misery in your life, every other bad habit came from childhood.
Right.
Didn't it?
Right.
Isn't that why you smoke? Isn't that why you get high? Isn't that where your sexual proclivity comes from? Childhood. Guess what else comes from childhood? Easter and Christmas, Thanksgiving. You've been doing it for so long. You was hiding them eggs. You had a little happy time. You got a break from being molested during Easter. You got a break from being beaten and ostracized. So now your heart is attached to Easter. You're not like we are. We do things because they're right.
Right.
And we stop doing things if they're wrong.
Right.
You might have a path to become like us, however. Oh, but you'd have to give up the pleasure that you had in childhood.
Right.
At the same time, you give up the trauma. The trauma is why you can't give up the pleasure. You know, it's just like you ever been shot before, had a bad surgery. You go into a surgery or a trauma, you've been shot. And what do they give you in the hospital, Haas? Pain pills.
They do.
Oxycontin, morphine. I was on that morphine, Haas.
Shit, I was on volume.
Whamma jamma. That morphine is powerful.
Yeah,
I mean, you lay there, Rock. I was seeing all kinds of issues. I was seeing everything on that morphine. Why? Because I was in pain. You understand? I was in pain.
Yeah.
So I needed morphine. Well, then after a while, even when the pain stops, now you have pain if you don't get morphine.
Yes, sir.
Now you have pain if you don't get the pain medication.
Yes, sir.
That's why you love Easter and Thanksgiving, because you've lived a terrible life, horrible, with no parents, no love, trauma, sexual abuse, poverty, and you were given Easter one time a year, given Thanksgiving, given Christmas, and it eased your pain for a little while. Now you're addicted.
Right.
Now you're hooked on Easter.
Okay.
Everybody understand. Marcel, you understand. Marcel knows just what I'm talking about because I know what happened to Marcel when he was a child. I know what happened to you. I was there. I saw it. He knows. He knows. Well, this is how you beat the drug, brothers and sisters. Do you want to get free? Do you want to get off of the drugs of holidays and weed and pills and sexual deviance? Well, you got to get healed to get off of the pain meds.
Right.
You have to get healed. That's what Commanding General YAHANNA is doing. Right. We're getting healed so that we don't need the meds anymore. I pray you understand.
Damn right,
Let's get into it. Mayak, you said something?
General.
No problem. Go ahead.
I did explain to the simpleton Marcel, you know, that the Bible talks about Mitri and it covers about 80% of your head, but the crown is uncovered. Because he said most of your head is still covered. You know what I'm saying? But he just unlearned. Salaki.
Marcel doesn't know.
Alawapanya, Barak. How about
Y'all about the thumb what Akim.
Sir.
You see him?
So you probably got my avatar up there for now.
Okay, no sweat. Salaki, sir. I don't see anything. Okay, good to go. No
Yeah,
sweat.
should be. I hear y'all. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Yeah, we hear you, but we can't see. We can't see your avatar or anything.
But Marah will work it in.
Okay. So we can hear you. We just can't see the avatar. But you coming through clear, sir.
I think you're good to go, sir. Did you want to say?
Say again?
Did you want to say anything, sir?
Yeah. I thought it was kind of ironic how the Lord put that Pope down right around their so-called Easter, which is just another example of how much the Lord hates and disrespects that whole Catholic holiday and that whole Catholic religion, and also how much that Catholic religion has such an influence on all the religions around the world, including Muslims and so forth. They are all influenced by this pedophile masterpiece of evil called the Roman Catholic Church. When the world rids itself of them, the world will be so much better a place. They did so much killing and slaughtering over the years. So much. I mean, the things that they did with children are just beyond the pale. The electrocution. They had electric. We brought this out already. They had electric chairs, both in Canada and in the northern parts of the United States. They were going to beat the soul out of the 12 tribe, much like what Trump is trying to do now. They were going to try to do that. And that particular Pope came from South America. And according to some reports, he had a horrible record of dealing with children in down there. Like that Pope and that entire Catholic organization is the most predatory organization in the world when it comes to religion. It's where you get all your Christian faggots at. You know what I mean? And what a lot of people may not know is that, the Jesuit priests are like the CIA. They infiltrate organizations. They go around the world and spread their propaganda. They do everything to influence countries and religions around the world to be more like the Catholic Church. And they also participated in many wars, they were one of the main financiers of Adolf Hitler. They were one of the main financiers of Adolf Hitler. They still got beef with the so-called Jew today over it. And they financed a whole lot of other monsters around the world. And so, Lord willing, this is finally for us anyway. They can go on and have a whole religion of pedophiles, but let the Lord's will be done that finally our people will come out to darkness and get the hell away from all of the madness that we've learned in this world. You know what I'm saying? So I yield for water.
Commander General YAHANNA said it's so heavy because the Catholic Church is the mother of all of these Christian churches that we see that destroy black people, and the Catholic Church are the ones that they learn child molestation from.
Yeah.
It's no coincidence that you got Eddie Long and T.D. Jakes and it's no coincidence that you have Eddie Long and T.D. Jakes and all of these preachers that we all have grown up knowing molest and abuse children, when all of them have learned it from the Pope, learned it from the Catholic Church. And that is the mother of harlot.
Yes, sir.
That's all.
That's right.
You want to talk about child molestation? That is the home of all child molesters. And every other little black church and Hispanic church that broke off from the Catholic Church sometimes in the 1500s, they continue that practice of abusing children.
Right.
So what Commander
Yes, they
Jones
do.
saying is, of course, correct. The water, sir.
The water, sir.
Most High Christ. If I could add one last thing too, like what you said is so heavy in that. What a lot of people don't know is that the majority of these preachers today and theologians get their degrees through the Catholic Church. They get their degrees in what to teach and how to teach and how to do sermons. All of that is packaged up by the Catholic Church and also a fake Israelite group, Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They were going into learning how to carry out the priesthood by the Catholic Church. They started to study the doctrine before the leader got killed. They had the whole book of doctrine. If you go back and look at their garments, they started to change their garments into garments like the Roman Catholic Church. That's where the red and white came from. That's where the ponchos that he wore came from. And he even incorporated the femininity with the ruffled wristbands, and with the sequence shirts. All he needed next was the red slippers. And so that's what's creeped in among us. But for us, it's time for Blacks, Latino, and Native Indian people to start rejecting all this nonsense around here. Not only rejecting it, but rejecting it with no respect. We've had so much respect for these nightmare religions, including your church. Excuse me. We've had so much respect for them, and that respect has allowed them to go on and do horrible things to us. How could anybody still go to church with all the evil that goes on in church? That's reported every day. It's a haven of homosexuality and lesbianism, yet it's still propped up as though, that's where you're going to find God at. It's in our music, it's in our entertainment, our comedians mimic them. Like, it's all the way up in our world, and it is the root cause of all of the evil in the Black Latino community. We got to get radical about it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the young man up there wondering why your head covered or what he believes is your head covered, he should really be saying, why has these religions been allowed to go on so long? Right. Let me get the hell away from them religions. Let me see what these brothers is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, now is not the time to think you can go toe to toe with the Hebrew Israelites. I mean, we've been doing this a long time. We know what we're doing. You should at least sit down and learn and grow and really call on the Lord to change your spirit, because we'll see you years later doing the pokey dance. and both you and us will be wondering how the hell you got there. And that's how you got here. That's what happened to all these brothers who came into the truth or came near the truth, created some religion, turned around and threw out some garbage and created a new haven for homosexuality. That's where it comes from. It's all taught in them churches. And brother, now if we could end it all, we could begin to make wonderful decisions, man. Okay? We can make wonderful decisions. I yield for what?
Yes, sir. Most High in Christ. Water, sir.
Water, sir. I was going to go to the next story, sir, with your permission.
Please, what?
You die.
Colonel McCon, sir. Colonel McCon.
Morale, you need me?
Salaki, sir. Officer Award made an excellent comment that Mathumyad has brought up. It says, Salaki, sir, they are so dominant in the Caribbean, like St. Lucia, you had to take communion to graduate regular schools. Salaki.
Dang.
Damn, I didn't know that.
You can imagine what them poor brothers is going through in the Caribbean now. Wow. With these Catholics. I mean, it's a terrible thing. Speaking of what poor brothers go through, sir, the story came out, Captain Tazariak told us about with Kanye West today. I don't know if you heard about that one.
I have not.
Oh, it's terrible. Go ahead, Yedaya.
Kanye West claims he had an incestuous relationship with male cousin as a child and acted out explicit in magazines.
Now, I'm assuming we can't play the song. Sir, this is a song Tazariak told me that he released today. And in the song, he says he was given HEAD to his cousin until he was 14 years old. That's in the song.
Damn.
That's in the song today. He released it, a cry for help about how he was performing oral sex on his male cousin until he was 14 years old. I took the liberty of looking up what a religion Kanye West in. I think y'all save yourself the trouble. He was Christian. You don't got to look it up. His mother was Christian. He grew up Christian. The boy was Christian. That's why he made that song, Jesus Walks, when he first came out, because he grew up in the church playing that piano in church. That accursed piano has.
Yes, it is.
In that church is a magnet to homos. Hey, somehow it draws them in. Not that it's gay to play the piano, but I don't know why they gravitate towards it. They love it. I guess it soothes them, the music. I don't know what the hell it is, but he was performing oral sex on a boy till he was 14, and now you see him now all bugged out and wearing that Klan robe. You wondering what's wrong with him? I'll tell you what's wrong with him. Childhood is wrong with him.
Yeah,
that's right.
Childhood is a vicious enemy. Childhood. Now here he is. He's supposed to go off with his amazing gifts and live a life and contribute and make millions of dollars. He can't because he needs to be born again.
Right.
You cannot take that kind of trauma into adulthood and think that you're going to just gloss over it into success. Many have tried.
Right.
And so many of Whitney Houston tried. Whitney Houston was a Christian who sung in the church.
Yeah.
And yet still died of drug addiction.
Yeah.
Still. And her daughter died of drug addiction. It just, that Christian church is so vile. And the trauma that you're going to get in there is going to make long life impossible.
Right.
It's going to make it impossible.
Right.
So that's the song he came out. Wrote a whole song about it, sir. And Tazal Yax, he's on the song screaming it like, I paid my cousin. I get that. Screaming it on some song on the internet.
Like, imagine trying to live that down. Imagine becoming famous and at first trying to hide it. Then trying to live with it, then coming to the conclusion, you got to now bring it out. And to 14, like he's damn near a man at 14.
That's right.
And they're gonna do this hard. And I'm gonna tell you what needs to be searched. What needs to be searched is who is the cousin and what church did the both of them go to?
Mm-hmm.
And then it needs to be brought out, and the people need to say that we want this church closed.
Right.
And that's supposed to be the end of that church. I don't want to tell you what I think they really should say, but I'll settle for we want this church closed. Like that would be repairing our nation. That would be repairing we need to find out what church did this happen. What church did Kanye West go to and give oral sex to his cousin till he was 14, playing the organ in front of everybody, including his mother? And let me tell you something else too. That homosexuality does something really evil and spiritual to your soul, because Kanye West, the launch of his career, in his early songs, he said, I don't care what Jesus's color was.
Yes, he did.
He came out and said that. Like, we was on the street, roughneck, struggling, warring, battling, trying to wake our people up that we are the chosen people of the Lord. He gets a record deal from the so-called Jew after blowing a man's rod till he was 14. And he comes out, the first thing he comes out with is a song to stop the masculinity of black men going forward. He gonna take away the history of the possibility of black men having their own savior. He killed that with that song. I don't care. How the song go? I don't care what his facial features are, something like that.
Right.
Of course you can't care, because after you've blown a rod till you're 14, you have no ability to resist anything. You're broken.
Right.
Like Muhammad said, you got to be born again now.
Right.
You gotta fix all of that trauma. So trying to tell you, yeah, brother, you need to stand with us. We stand with Jesus being black. You don't care about them facial features. You don't care about them facial features because you're a broken man. Right. The problem is that broken man is not the man that should be making songs.
That's right.
That broken man is the man that should have been in therapy.
That's right.
That's what he should have been. And listen, and all the bravado, all of the, you know, they talk about how he's such an egotist and how he's just so full of himself. That's what he had to do every day to get past. He got a rod in his mouth till he's 14. He had to get past that. And the only way he could get past that is to totally lie to himself and tell him that he's great and special and this and that, and then go out and make songs covering up every last bit of that pain by making songs about how great he must be. When meanwhile, the whole time, this is a brother that is in shattered pieces inside. This is a brother in shattered pieces inside. And once again, man, that's why the Israelite School of UPK and the work you brothers doing is so great. Big shout out to Captain Tazariak too. That like the reason why this work is so great is because Satan has become a master. He's become a master at hiding where people are broken at. He's become a master at showing people how to put up a mask, how to hide from the truth of what they've gone through. And if they don't have a chance, a safe place to be able to become born again and to join their manhood and womanhood and fix what is wrong and stand up again, then they'll never get healed. And that rotten ass Christian church is the exact place they don't need to be. Right. That rotten cesspool will never be a safe haven for them. Right. And that's why the work we do is so goddamn great. Damn like right. Finally, how old is Kanye West, if I could ask?
I don't know. How old is he? Can you look it up?
He got to be in his 40s.
47, sir.
Imagine that. 47. Okay, 47. That means 34 years. 34 years, this man hid the fact that he was being molested by his cousin into being a homosexual for 40 years. Praising his mama for the church, praising churches for his beginnings. Remember, at one point he was going around with a whole choir.
That's right. Right. That's right.
Acting like the church was a great, wonderful thing.
That's right.
Meanwhile, that was 34 years of lies, 34 years of covering up. And I'm not directly blaming him. He's a victim of the same absolutely efficient system of child molestation that the Roman Catholic Church created and spread through all Black religions in America and now, and prisons and institutions and colleges. And now they have the perfect system to molest you for years, and they hide it, and then it comes out and psychologists tell you it always comes out in your 40s. Because it's your 40s is when you start that turning of age, where you start to look at the past and look at the future. And you don't want to carry that no more. Like that man is a living horror story. And like you said, that's where the drugs get added in and all that. Thanks be to the Lord. He going to end that Catholic Church. And definitely the Black community, man, shame on you, Black man. Shame on you that you don't stand up and put an end to these Christian churches, man. Put an end to this. Every time we look around, y'all jumping up and say the church done did a lot for people. The church done did a lot for people. Well, this boy was molested till he was 14. Now let's just see what church that was in. And let's go talk to them. Let's go talk to every 40-year-old man that went to that church. And I'll bet you we'll find a slew of men that was molested. And we only even know that it took place because Kanye West is world famous.
Right.
How many men in that church that are not world famous that's been molested, and how many churches are carrying out the same molestation? Like, we live in a horrible nightmare here. And that's why we've been saying in the school for the longest, don't blame us. This happened to us. We didn't call. Our mistake was turning our back on the law, statutes, and commandments. But this This is well beyond the pale of what should be happening to us. I yield.
Most nice Mirage, the water general.
Shalaki, sir. I had the church that Kanye West attended. It's called his childhood church was called Christ Universal Temple. I'm about to post it right
Where at?
In Chicago.
Like that church need to be investigated.
Yeah.
It need to be investigated. A whole SUV, you know what I'm saying, need to come up in there with badges and warrants.
Yeah.
And be going in and going right through the church and now questioning people. Are their children being molested now? Are there sex rings? Are there sex trafficking rings? What the hell is going on? Are they having conventions? Let's talk to all the men from back then. Let's talk to all the women from back then. All that needs to be investigated. But of course, there's no interest in investigating. No interest in it, which is why the Israelite school must become stronger. This is why every brother should join us. We need tens of thousands of soldiers. And we can go to the district attorney and say, look, we want this church investigated. And brother, when you start moving like that, you're going to save thousands of brothers and sisters' lives. You're gonna make a pedophile and old stinking rapist. You're gonna put him on notice and he's gonna live in fear. He's gonna run and hide and scurry, and he himself will try to repent just because of what may happen to him. You know what I'm saying? And then stupid ass fake Israelite groups won't be coming out talking about you could rape a 9-year-old girl.
Right.
And stupid nonsense like that. Because they'd be afraid that 20,000 Hebrews might show up on their doorstep to contest the evil, disgusting theology that they're trying to spread in the world, and may want to understand and know who did you whore yourself out to put that kind of garbage in the street. But that day will come soon enough as we rise up in this truth and go forward. That day will come soon enough. Also, too, if I could real quick, y'all, I don't know if it'll come out. Well, let me just leave it alone. I yield right there. What?
Damn right,
yeah.
You got it?
If I could, sir, I believe, the article is saying that he was older than his cousin. He was molesting his cousin. Because the article says that he showed him the magazines when his cousin was 6 years old.
Commander General YAHANNA is saying it's the fault of that preacher. Also, I heard he blamed his mother because they said, Mariah, you want to say something about it? Tazaryak told me that in the song, he says that he would look at his father's Playboy magazines. He said, but then when he looked at his mother's, it was something totally different than that. In his mother, he blames his mother for this child molestation or homosexuality that happened to him.
Oh, it's like
that he did. Go ahead.
His mother had a magazine.
She had her own.
And the father had his own.
And father had his. He blames his mother because of what was in hers.
He was more turned on by the mother's magazine.
That's what it sounds like.
Blowing them rods.
Yeah, it sounds like his mother's is the ones that struck him. And here we go now today, a 47-year-old man in pieces.
And if I could, man, that's a long 47 years ago. That's a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? That's like back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And these are supposed to be the high moral people in church.
Yeah.
But you go in their house, and the mothers and fathers is sitting up there with their own set of sexual magazines available for the kids to see and get hold of. Lord knows what they was doing in that church. And why would they have different sexual magazines? Which means they had different sexual desires, which were probably carried out in that rat hole they call a Chicago church.
Yep.
That's where, the problem is black people don't have their own government to investigate themselves. We're always fighting the enemy, and the enemy could care less about our moral stability. The enemy could care. Like, they don't want a child molester running around, of course. That's dangerous for everybody. And it tears society apart. But they're not concerned about the massive destruction of our next generations based on that. They could care less about it. And that's why we need our own government. Our own decisions have to be made to fix our own problems. You know what I'm saying? Because of, look at him. He basically is saying he was a full-fledged predator in that church and got his start from his own mother, his own Christian mother and father magazines. Give me a break, man.
Sir. You got it. Please. Go ahead.
So, like, if I may, Kanye West, just to bring it back around too, Kanye West was also dressed as the Easter Bunny. He literally dressed as the Easter Bunny.
I remember that
this week. So
he dressed as the Easter Bunny. Jesus, there was another story, sir, about Shannon Sharp. It came out today as well. Shannon, he got a rape allegation. I don't know if he got arrested or if it was in civil court, but some woman accused him of sexual assault. And so, and now they filed charges in either civil or criminal court. And so now, to defend himself in the court of public opinion, Shannon Sharp released all of the text messages from him and the woman to try to show that she was a willing participant to their sexual affair, right? And so one of the text messages says, I can't wait till you put a big black baby in me. Now, I still am not, I can't confirm that this is a heathen, but it seems like it was a heathen. Now, maybe someone else can confirm it, because I believe that was the story, that he had sex with this Moabite or, white woman, and she was just talking about how she wanted a big black baby inside of him, and he released that to the public today to try to defend himself.
I don't believe anything that Shannon Sharp puts out. Shannon Sharp seems to run into all these sexual allegations when Shannon Sharp got more sugar in him than the sweetest candy you ever saw. Shannon Sharp's trying to build a podcast. It sounds like he got a good spin doctor trying to constantly come up with these sexual issues to say, everybody come look at this. They know what sells among us. They know our social weaknesses. They know what's up with us. So I wouldn't trust nothing that comes out with until you see that devil pull up in that black SUV with them handcuffs and slap them on Shannon Sharp's wrist and drag his ass down to the courthouse. I wouldn't believe a damn thing coming out his damn mouth. Shannon Sharp looks like he would not molest a table leg.
Listen, let me tell you something. That is an excellent point, sir. Because for sure, that last scandal he was in, I mean, it smelled funny as hell. It seemed totally manufactured. And now here we are again. And of course, he releases text messages that make him look like, he loves having sex with women.
Right.
He loves to have sex, and they love to have sex with him. I believe what you're saying is absolutely sound, sir. Nobody could believe it until he gets arrested.
Right. Like he his podcast jumped off pretty big.
Yep.
And they're trying to keep it up, putting on as many big guests as they can. You know what I mean? Spending the money, blah, blah, blah. But he himself is not a very exciting character.
No.
But they doing the best they can. You know what I'm saying? And as a result, they got to do stuff to get the population looking in his direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And absolutely, because of this, he's going to be trending.
Right.
He's going to make millions off of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Tune in, want to interview him. His numbers are going to go out the goddamn roof. What you're saying is absolutely true.
True.
Go ahead. Please. Let's do Kai Sanat. Kai Cenat, sir, is this young kid that has millions and cajillions of followers. You die. Break it down.
Con. It says there are two different black people. Kai Cenat under fire after Asian friend spits in his face and jokes about black people on live stream. Kai Cenat is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Like Twitch is huge for anybody under 23. And he don't even play video games or nothing. Like I think he has like over 3 or 4 million followers on Twitch, sir, and Twitter.
Dang.
3 or 4 million followers. He's on there, you know, just sitting around talking with some Chinese kid. And the Chinese kid spits in his face, you know? Spits in his face. What did he do? Laugh about it. He laughed it off. And what else happened, you die?
Con. Oh, Sluggy, yes, 14 million followers.
14 million followers. And he still ain't famous enough not to have a Chinese man spit right in his face.
Yeah.
Like imagine, I guarantee you that Chinese kid don't have 14 million followers. But he feels above this kid enough to just spit right in his face. And of course he was right because the cat did nothing about it. He did nothing about it. It's all over the internet. What are people saying about it, Yedaya?
Sir. Khan, it was definitely shameful. You know, it's definitely two sides to it. You know, most of Israel, you know what I mean, are upset with Kai for allowing that, more so for his comments. And I have it. It says in the viral clip posted on Twitter, Ray, who was Moab, talking to his friend Daimi, makes disturbing comments distinguishing what he calls two different types of black people, referring to one group with a racial slur. So he was really saying, you know what I mean, you got good black people who, you know, and then you got niggas.
Yeah, that is something that is so old and makes me sick when I hear it. That you can, I saw what's those twins' names, sir, that came against Tazar Those something twins.
The Hodge twin.
Twin.
Yeah, cut them.
I saw they were on a video with a white man.
Yeah.
And one of the Hodges twins said, I would never get offended by a white man calling me a nigger because I'm not one of them. I'm not like that. And the white man said, yeah, you know, there's other people that's niggers. There is some belief that comes from the pit of slavery that you could be black and not be a nigger. As if white people didn't hang doctors.
Right.
As if they didn't hang military uniforms on that fought for their country.
Yes, sir.
Every black person is a nigger. Every Hispanic is a nigger. But there's some psychosis, sir, in the tribe of Judah that lets them detach themselves like he's a nigger because he don't have a job. I'm not a nigger because I have a job. And they're able to hang around white people and Chinese people and call other black people nigger.
Right.
And they don't get offended. They don't take it personal because they have a job. Yeah. Because they take care of their. Please, sir.
I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off. General,
I'm listening, sir.
I don't want to cut you off. Please finish.
Oh no, that was it, sir. Meaning that's the reason. That's his reasoning. So the Chinese cat talking about, you know, there's black people and they're good. That was on the Oprah Winfrey show back in the 80s when she went.
I remember when she went to Forsyth County.
County. Yeah. And they said, Oprah, you know, you're good. We ain't talking about you. But these niggers out here, they're niggers. They want to start trouble in our town, try to, you know, have voting drives and those are niggers. They're troublemakers. You, Oprah, you're fine with us. Kai Cenat sat there and let some Chinese man talk about, you know, the poor black people and call them niggers. And he disassociated himself from that. And that is his slave mentality. I mean, he is a coon up. If you want to understand a coon, if you can say he's a nigger and I'm not because I have a job or money, you don't understand at all the oppression that you're under.
Yeah.
Disgusting, sir.
And General, if I could, can y'all hear me?
I hear you, sir.
I kept cutting in and I apologize. But I kept cutting in, brother. But you drew a sword through the fog like I can't explain. Like what you just said should be on a t-shirt. It should be a t-shirt. We should make a t-shirt that says black doctors and lawyers were hung also.
That's right, sir.
Yeah.
Count to one count.
Yeah.
It's going to go nuclear.
Yes, sir.
Because what you just said, I think that's not in black. And by the way, one correction, Latinos and Native Indians and West Indians are the exact same way. Look at the Latinos hating on the ones that don't have papers.
Count to one count.
Like you give one of the 12 tribes a reason to hate the rest of their tribe. Oh, they on board. We the masters, the 12 tribes of Israel are the masters at hating themselves. When you separate them by a green card, they're going to hate the other half. You separate them by a job, they're going to hate the other half. Whatever you separate them by, they're going to use that separation as a reason, damn near a call to action to hate the rest of their tribe. So what you're saying is right. But what needs to be in the psyche of black people is that poor people aren't the only ones getting hung.
That's
It
right.
was mainly people of prominence.
That's right.
They were hanging the business owners.
That's
They
right.
were hanging the preachers.
Yeah.
They was hanging the doctor, the lawyer. That's who they were hanging. The field hand, they hung him too. But mainly they hung those.
Sir, we can't hear you. Morale. Let him see. Let him know we can't hear you. Sir, we can't hear
sir,
you.
we can't hear you. You might be on mute.
General Mayat?
He might be working it out.
Okay, he's working it out right now. Let's stand by for Commanding General YAHANNA, if I could. Thumb you out.
I just want to make a point.
Please.
Yeah, for black people, that's also saying, like, you know what I mean?
Can they see him?
He sound like he in the background.
It's not on. That mic is not on again.
It's
Not yet. Tap it again.
This is my mic.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, Most High in Christ. So everybody bringing out so heavy. Kasana and other people that say, you know what I mean, black people are, we ain't like the niggas, we regular black folk. It's not so much that it's that they hate each other, that they hate black people, but it's also like a feminine spirit too. Because it remind me of, you know what I mean, familiar, you know what I mean, fake UPK cats, fake Israelite cats, you know what I mean, dressed in purple, saying, no, we ain't black people. We going up against a bunch of niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a feminine spirit too. You know what I mean? I just want to bring that out too. It sounds familiar.
You told the truth right then. That's what the I.U.I.C. calls us.
Yeah.
The I.U.I.C. says we're not a camp of niggers.
Yeah.
Not like them. Those are niggers.
Yeah.
I remember watching that tape going, damn, I thought y'all were niggers too.
Yeah.
I thought we were all niggers. You're not a nigger? Yeah. And then it hit me. He thinks he's a good black person or an African American. We are thugs and in the streets. So he's not a nigger. And this is the mind-blowing thing. They're able to, so when white people, you know what that means? That means that when white people are saying, nigger, go home, nigger, go home, they sit there and think that black person deserves it.
Right.
They think that he's being called nigger because he deserves it. That's why white people are calling him nigger, because he doesn't have a job,
right?
Because he doesn't work. So they're able to sit there and blame the black person for being called a nigger by a white racist.
Right.
It's his fault. And they sit back going, I'm nothing like them. When you look for those trees, and men were hanging from those trees in military uniforms. Like they were hanging from them trees in the uniforms of the United States military, and they were hung. And doctors and lawyers and businessmen and entrepreneurs hung from those trees. And now you're able to sit back and blame the person receiving the racism, saying it's his fault that he's being called a nigger. That is terrible, Haas. That's a psychological trauma. You better get born again if you think like that.
Hey, General Muhammad, you remember back years ago when we was first raising up Baltimore, how the candy cane Israelites used to walk past us and say, don't we look much more glorious than them? They don't even look glorious like us. Look at us in our red and white and our red and gold. We glorious. And at the same time, they used to make videos how they call themselves niggas. See, we ain't no niggas. They used to say the same thing. back then. So I yield.
Let's find that video when they said we're not a camp of niggers. That's how Kai Cenat thinks. That's that. For time's sake, we better get into the Hispanic brother. Okay, we'll close out with the whole purple pigs. Okay, cerdos morados. We'll close out with them, Mayak. All right, if General Yohanna is not able to come back.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. You know what I'm talking about, right? This is a big story. As you know, Donald Trump, who everybody voted for, he went in and he promised for mass deportations. And this is what the simple in mind thought has. They thought he was going to get rid of the cartel. You know, he's going to come over here, get rid of the bad hombres, get rid of the drug dealers and the criminals and the people who supposedly are sexual assaulting all these white women, right? These bad hombres. That's what he called them in the news.
Right.
Come to find out, he just grabbed anybody that spoke Spanish off the street and sent them. He just grabbed anyone. Anybody.
Yeah.
Brother, they've tried to deport immigration lawyers.
Right.
Immigration lawyer gets a American citizen, but she's an immigration lawyer. She got a letter saying, deport yourself by tonight. She said, God damn it, I live here. I'm born in America.
Yeah.
But she was an immigration lawyer. Her name came up on the list. They sent her a deportation letter. They've sent so many American-born citizens deportation letters and deported American citizens out of this country because that was the point from the beginning.
Right. So
That
it's the
was the
same
point,
way.
Oz.
It's the same thing going to happen in Germany. When Hitler was coming up in the rocks, he did the same exact thing.
Yes, he did.
And the ones who was going up against him, he got rid of them. Same thing Trump doing. When you go against Trump, he getting rid of you. If you've been against him in the past, he charging you or doing something to get rid of you. Same exact playbook.
Well, House, I just asked, why would the majority of Americans vote for somebody like that? Because they agree with it. Because they want him to they don't want Trump to get rid of only the criminals.
Right.
They want Trump to get rid of every Hispanic.
Right.
They want him to get rid of every black person. Yeah. That's why he wants to cancel the 14th Amendment, not the 14th. What's the amendment that made everybody birthright citizenship?
Was it the 14th?
15, 16. I'm not sure. Y'all can confirm that. Yeah. He wants to cancel birthright citizenship, which is in the Constitution, which is paper if you have a tyrant over this country.
Right.
That Constitution means nothing at all to blacks and Hispanics. Right. Well, let me tell you about the story about one brother and what he went through, Haas. 14th Amendment, Thawada. Go ahead, Yedai. Bring down the story for them.
Kamala Khan, MSNBC host says people of color are next after Maryland illegal immigrant deported.
Go ahead.
Abrego Garcia, a 29-year-old immigrant living in Maryland, was deported to the El Salvadorian mega prison terrorism confinement center last month. And officials acknowledged in his court his deportation was an administrative error.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake. Just like the lawyer. It was a oops. It was an oopsie do. That's all. They're going to mistakenly deport everybody by mistake. You know, oops. But you're sitting in El Salvador with your head between your legs in a goddamn human chain in El Salvador. Right. Also, I haven't done this research, but I've been around enough to know that white billionaires are owners of those El Salvadorian prisons. I haven't even looked it up, and I don't have to. You can do it. I can guarantee white American businessmen own those private prisons in El Salvador, and that is why they're putting everyone in that prison in El Salvador, because they own them and they make money per head. They make money per every head they can get in that jail because the prisons are private, corporations own them, and I just guarantee that if you look at who owns them, there's going to be Americans that own those El Salvadorian prisons. Well, they put anybody in them. Okay. They just snatch up anybody, and when you're in there, it's a mistake. Ooh, but it's hard to get out, knock. Okay. You understand? It's hard to fix that mistake. Right. It's a mistake. Well, when is he coming back? Oh, shit. Yeah, we got to put the paperwork in.
You know what? We'll be more careful in the future.
Put it under Chapter B of Section B of Law C, and we'll try to get the paperwork over. You'll be in there 10 years. You know what it'll be like? Going to Rikers Island, waiting for your trial. You know how long you'll be in there? 7 years. 7 years. Ask Khalid Browder. You sit in Rikers Island waiting for a trial in America for 7 years. No trial. How long do you think it's going to get you out of El Salvadorian prison when you're there by mistake? Brother, learn Spanish. Yeah, right. Learn Spanish. You know, I just started camping there, me myself.
Yes.
I just go in there and just start getting it on now.
Yeah,
You understand what I mean? I just
right.
get in, start getting it on, become one of them. And
Damn
that's
right.
all.
Damn right.
But yeah.
And General, I heard, if I can, Slocky, I heard a Edomite did a video and said that Trump, they either passing a bill, passed it, or working on passing one that say they can arrest anybody at any time for any crime and send them to one of them prisons, no matter who they are, us, anybody. And send them to one of them prisons you're talking about.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's why they elected this cat out. That was the point. The point is the white people don't care about the economy. Don't you ever let any white man tell you he voted for Trump because of the economy.
Right.
Trump get right in the White House and plunge the economy into a goddamn hole. They did not vote for Trump because of the economy, because Trump destroyed the economy the first time he was president.
Right.
Sat over there and let everybody catch COVID-19. Everybody died and dropped dead. Everybody lost their mother and grandmother and grandfather. They voted him back in. Right. This economy has not been this terrible since the last time Trump was president. Right. When COVID-19 killed everybody's goddamn grandparents. They don't care about the economy. Right. They care about racism. Right. Trump is an overt, outlandish racist, and that is who they want to rule. Sure. They want him to be indiscriminate about kicking Hispanics out of the country. He's doing exactly what he was sent in there to do. Right. Don't you ever forget it. Yediah.
I was going to say, sir, what you're saying is so heavy about like the economy. We had a connected story earlier about how 60,000 Americans are set to lose their rental assistance and risk eviction unless Congress acts. The money is getting ready to run out.
60,000 people. I hope all of them voted for Donald Trump. That's on my prayer. Yeah. Is that Donald Trump right now, he part of his government is hurting, you know, the people that voted for him, the people that are in the stock market and people that buy stocks. He's hurting them. Yep. I pray that he does not hurt so many of us up, because he is disgusting and he's exactly what Americans wanted. He's the evil satanic being that best represents them. Right. That's why he's in the office. Read that story again. Now, this is 60,000 people about to be evicted because of Donald Trump's nonsense and cutting off every program that helps people. Come on, Yediah.
Khan, it says 60,000 Americans set to lose their rental assistance and risk eviction unless a Congress acts. A federal program that pays rent for 60,000 families and individuals fleeing homelessness and domestic violence is running out of money and quickly.
60,000 people that are in apartments because they receive rental assistance.
Right.
People in danger. Right. People that are in precarious conditions, you know, domestic abuse survivors, people like that, they're getting a little rental assistance. This program is about to be cut off. Why? Because it helps people. I got to end this show before, unless Commander Juliana comes back. I'm going to try to explain to you the white economy and every program. I'm going to explain the white budget to you, the American budget. If you can focus for 5 minutes, you'll understand the budget of America, right? Martin Luther King Jr. said that a budget is a moral document, meaning when you set aside a budget, you pay for things that are important to you, and you do not give money to things that are not important. A budget is moral. It says what matters to you in life. Well, let me explain the American budget to you. Imagine your wallet, right? Imagine your wallet is the American treasury. It's your wallet. And now you're looking at things, deciding what do I want to go into my wallet and give money to. So I look and I go, yeah, defense. I want to buy more guns. I like guns. I'm going to pay for guns. You can never have enough guns, right? Why? Because guns protect me.
Right.
Guns make me feel safe. And guns make me feel like I'm a badass. Like I'm Top Gun, Iron Eagle, Sylvester Stallone. I'm buying guns. What is the majority of the American budget spent on? The military. Yeah. I mean, it's like 80% of the entire budget of America. You have to go through 10 countries to equal the American budget that it spends on its military. And those countries are England, Germany. I'm talking big European countries. They're never going to run. They're never going to run out of money for the military because it makes them feel good to have bigger planes, bigger jets, more and more tanks, more and more AI drones. Then they'll never stop. If you complain and say you should stop spending so much money on the military, you're getting shut down because that's the military. You can't cut off money to the military. Space. You got to give money to space. Why? Because space makes us conquerors. Space means that we conquer Mars. We conquer the moon. We're on the moon. Guess who owns the moon, Haas? America owns the moon.
The eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed. Here you go. Here's some money for space. Put that flag on the moon. Go to Mars. Go to Saturn. Now I own the moon. The moon is mine.
Yeah.
All of that feeds American ego. Space travel. That idiot sent Gail up to the damn space, so-called space house. The bitch went about 10 feet above the clouds. He called it space. Look out the window. The sky is blue out the window. Look at the video of Gail in space. The sky is blue because the bitch didn't go to space. She went to the upper level of the ozone, of the atmosphere, which is not space, but it's the part where you start to float.
Yeah.
And they come back down. But you know what? We got money for space because space makes us emperors and conquerors. We got money to invade countries, to buy Greenland. We got money. Hey, then all of a sudden, a little homeless man comes up to you and says, "Sir, can I have $1? Get a job." Then you put your wallet in your pocket because you don't want to give money to the poor. That doesn't feed your ego. You don't want to give money to some poor brother sitting on the street corner. That you will never spend $1 to give a poor person money,
right?
Because that doesn't feed your ego. It doesn't make you feel strong. You don't ever have money for the poor, but you have money for everything else. If you can just think like that, think like a man with a wallet,
right?
You can damn near predict what white people will spend money on,
right?
You can guess what he will open his wallet for and what he will close his wallet for. Everyone understands?
Come on.
Like, you got it.
That's heavy.
Right?
Yeah, right, General.
With that said, listen, we're going to wrap it up for Commanding General YAHANNA tonight. I want to say Tawada to General Hazayan, General Mayak, General Hazayan, Officer Morale, Udiah, Officer Knock. Oh, say your name again. Nathaniel Allah, Officer Nathaniel, Officer Ibad. Tune in next week for Commanding General YAHANNA. Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala.
It's amazing to see how well we are down from the struggle. I want to eat from my life is being trapped in the club. My mind frame was thinking my whole time. Inferior, waking up ready to die. One of them killers always tell a matter of time. I can take your life one day, you take mine. That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves. But the white man really get old, we in them graves. Shit, I ain't been played. I open the Bible and put on break the sound. We was born to the nation of disrespected, but in this world we rejected. We hated for our complexity. Fighting and getting accepted. We hear the truth and rejected, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation. We brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Watch how you step in the brotherhood is a weapon. Everybody used to be a holiday in a black. Watch how you step in the brotherhood is a weapon.